just think on Valentine's Day 2025, what could be better than with my Valentine? Oh, it's Phil.
Sorry, Valentine wasn't available, so you're stuck with me.
No,
Apologies about that.
That's it. You're looking very straight out of a sort of 50s movie. That's a kind of very 50s look with the white shirt outside the jacket, the whole thing. Bring them home. Bring them home.
Absolutely. Yeah, the collar's gone a bit skewed on this. I think I need to re-iron this shirt. It's gone a bit weird. But anyway, never mind. Now, look, speaking of Valentine's Day, I'm sorry. We can't just be pie in the sky. We've got to get in the right frame of mind here. Yeah. Oh,
that's so nice. Isn't that fantastic?
Gotta love the midday show. And
loving it, the midday show. I'm Russ Kane. He is Phil Dave. This is the midday show.
You're actually watching Talk Sport.
Every time you mention Talk Sport, what I love about it is you're doing lots of stuff with Talk Sport. I've never known anybody other than me know less about sport than you, ever.
Well, the editors terrible. The editors think Formula One hilarious.
You must do, because they go, and Tottenham Hotspur, and you probably go, I'm sorry, who? What are they? They're a cricket team.
What's this top man hot what? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Formula One, I'm okay with because I love it, but I have to say, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Hamilton, with Lewis Hamilton when he goes to Ferrari. I wonder. Anyway, happy Valentine's to you, Kimi Lashmar. Graham Pack. Wait for it.
Maybe actually, do you know what? On Valentine's Day, we've got to try and come up with appropriate names for people. So I'm thinking that Kimi Lashmar could be Kimi Lushmar, perhaps.
Oh, Kimi Lushmar. Or Kimi Lustmore.
Yeah, there's a good one. Yeah.
Kimi Lustmore.
Julie Voice could be Julie Sexy Voice, perhaps. Graham Pack could be great. Actually,
don't even go there.
No, never mind about that.
No, because that could go horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. So Kimi likes Kimi Lustmore for the day. When I was in Asda, says Graham Pack, in the Asda supermarket yesterday, I saw they were selling heart-shaped pizzas. Nothing's more romantic.
Who says?
What's wrong with that?
Who says romance is dead?
It's dead, right.
Have I got a treat for you, my dear?
Yes, and a bottle of Blue Nun. Do you know, it wasn't that long ago. Well, in my head, it wasn't that long ago that Blue Nun and Black Tower, way before your time, was pretty damn sophisticated. It was pretty sophisticated.
You know, actually, I wouldn't say my parents don't know very much about wine, which they're probably very proud of, to be fair. Yeah. But I do distinctly remember that they introduced me to when they introduced me to wine, they gave me a glass of Blue Nun, and I know why they did it. They were trying to put me off it. Didn't work very well, but
it hasn't worked with you.
Well, quite, yes. Graham Pack of 3.
Okay. Well, that's what happens after you have a heart-shaped pizza and a bottle of Blue Nun.
Absolutely,
if you're lucky. Yes. If things all pan out. So yesterday,
you end up blue and with none.
I'm leaving that because I think that's open to much interpretation. Yesterday was a little seminal moment for many of us. It was the 30th anniversary of the founding of Soho House. 1995. I was one of the first people to join. I joined on a whim, to be perfectly honest with you. And it was, I don't know where the thing I wanted to make, not about Soho House, but that I don't know where 30 years have gone. And it was lovely to see. No? I'm moving on. I am moving on.
So happy to have you here this week. I'm feeling the love.
I am thrilled to have you here. It's always lovely to see you, he said through clenched teeth. And I don't know where the 30 years have gone. And I was saying to Phil before the show, I said I'd join, and you were like 3 or something, which is so annoying. What were you, 8?
Slightly more precise, I would have been 8 years old.
Yeah, you would have been 8. This is so worrying.
You know, though, have you seen that
So
Soho
worrying.
House?
Hello,
Sorry, I know
Tina.
this is not an advert for Soho House or anything like that.
Okay,
But have you seen that Soho House at the moment on their menu are doing about 5 items from 30 years ago at the price they would have been then? Boy, oh boy, are Londoners getting ripped off now. Flipping heck.
What? Are they?
I'm telling you. Yep. Just literally go to Soho House normally.
Oh my God! I think I'll nip round there this afternoon. And it was lovely to see the great Leslie Ann Jones, who's been a guest on this show several times, but I've known her for worryingly 40 years plus. She's a fantastic writer, brilliant writer.
And did I observe that the frightfully noble Cara Noble was there?
Cara came into town. She flew in from Los Angeles. Her arms were tired. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Try the chicken. And it was lovely to see Cara. And here's a name we haven't seen in like forever. Crazy name, crazy gal. Hello, boys. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Eve Phantom. Yeah. Okay. Enough of that.
What could we do as a special Valentine's name for Eve Phantom? Come on.
Eve, scare the crap out of you, Phantom.
Oh.
Eve,
well, I was thinking
Phantom
of romantic
of the Opera.
Eve. I was thinking of romantic Eve Phantom.
Yeah. Needs a little work. Anyway,
we'll come back to that. We'll try again. Don't worry.
It's a work in progress, Eve.
Yes.
That's where we are on this thing. Anywho, it has to be said that it was just so weird and to see
I've got it.
People.
The Phantom Menace. That would do. Actually, also we didn't come up with Bettina Holt as well.
Tina Holt, yeah. Tina, halt it right there.
Yes.
That's what I'd say.
That would do, yeah.
We like Tina Holt. She is the queen.
And then Robert Van Buren's just joined in. But hang on, what can we do with Robert for Valentine's Day?
For Valentine's Day. Oh, Robert Van Buren for a big surprise.
Perfect. There you go.
That'll do.
That will boost his ego.
That'll be lovely. Robert Van Buren for a big surprise. Yes, it's a heart-shaped pizza and some blue naan.
Yes.
Anyway, it was very, very lovely.
Special offer from Asda.
Yeah. I got to, the thing about the 30 years ago, Soho House, you never know how life's going to be. Just bear with me for a second. So Cara, who I was working with at the time at Capital, Cara Noble, and we're still very good mates, and she never gets any older. It's infuriating. She looks exactly the same. Really annoying. Anywho,
yeah, but
30 years ago,
she's about 30. So
what? She was what?
No, I'm joking.
Born looking 30.
30.
She wasn't looking 30. Here's a little thing about Cara. She had a very, very successful singing telegram. Do you remember? Oh no, you're way too young. Right. Everybody else will remember singing telegrams, where you could hire and somebody would turn up and they'd sing a telegram to you for your birthday or anniversary. Or
Cilla Black used to do that on Surprise Surprise.
Oh
she
God!
Used to do Cillograms, didn't she?
Did she?
Surprise, surprise!
And then and the microphone just starts to melt like it's been caught in a nuclear blast. Anyway, so she had a very successful company. I think it was called Songbirds, and people would go out. And one of her people who went out was Julian Clary. It was one of the first things he ever did.
Good Lord.
Can you believe it? Yeah, true. Anyway, she said to me, come along. We were opening a new club. Now, back in 1995, many of you, not Phil, who was 8, little bastard, but many of you will remember 1995 clubs were opening and closing like a door in a supermarket. I mean, they'd be here one minute, gone the next. And I thought that.
What, they'd make that annoying pinging sound every time you walk through them.
Bing, bong.
Bing, bong.
Avon calling. So, cutting edge reference. So, it was called the Hard Party, the Hard Hat Party. I'll explain why in a sec. And I'd finished at the agency that day, and it was a very sunny day in the summer. And I thought, well, I got nothing else to do. I'm on my own. I might as well just go along. So I went along to the Hard Hat Party on Greek Street in Soho in London. If you're watching in America, that's a street in an area of London called Soho. And
didn't you just say
it was a building site. There was nothing there. So it was called the Hard Hat Party because you had to wear a hard hat to attend the party because it was
Oh,
literally
it
a
makes
building.
perfect sense now. Thank God for that.
It was, yeah, no, it wasn't anything very interesting. It was because it was, there weren't any banisters to go up. There was literally scaffolding.
Oh,
And this young guy, there was nothing there. There was a young guy, and we all went up onto the roof terrace, and he was pitching us how it was going to be. And I'd looked at the plans, and I thought, this guy's nuts. But I love his enthusiasm. He was absolutely charming. And what tipped it for me, and you'll like this, they were serving cocktails out of cement mixers. They literally had little cement mixers. The ones, the mini cement. Look at your face is a picture. Your face is an absolute picture.
gracious
They were
me.
serving the
That's
cocktails.
that's a bit hardcore.
It was, but I thought that's so witty
did that
because the place,
hardcore
there was nothing there.
Memphis.
You couldn't see anything. It was an absolute, it was a derelict wreck. So the next morning I thought, oh, yeah.
Maybe they misunderstood when you're supposed to serve drink with mixers.
I'll give you that one. That's very good. I'll give.
Thanks.
And I thought that's so witty and silly. I like these people. And the young guy turned out to be Nick Jones, who has built the most successful empire of clubs probably ever. I don't know. I don't think there's a country in the world virtually where there isn't a Soho. But it all started from this little derelict place. And the deal was, if we joined as a founder member, our fees would always be the same for the rest of our lives. And he said to me at the time, I remember that evening, that beautiful summer's evening, he said, and wherever we open in the world, Russ, you'll be a member. And I thought, you're going to be lucky to keep this derelict dump going. Never mind about opening in. But it is. And did it cement the deal? It did cement the deal, Graham Pack. And it's true. And it's just been,
hang on to every single penny of that opening membership fee, because I'm telling you now, it ain't what it used to be.
Well, I think it's thousands now. I think it's thousands.
Well, let me put it this way. The amount I pay per month for the privilege of being a part of that particular membership club, I could very easily pay and have a small hatchback per month.
I pay £200 a year.
Yeah.
The end
it
for 30
is,
years. 30
yeah,
years.
I pay more than that per month. It is
Jeez.
It's absolutely outrageous.
Well, you were 8 years old. It was unlikely you could say, Mom, Dad, can I join?
Yeah, I want a Soho House membership.
I want a Soho House membership, Mum and Dad. You're not having that, Philip. No, eat your greens. It'd be that. Yeah, so crazy. You were 8 years old, and I was 3,000 years old at that point. Yeah, and so, and everywhere they opened in the world, I can go, which is just adorable. And I tell people
there is something, it has to be said. Again, I know that we're turning into a massive advert, and I'm sorry, it must be very boring.
Right.
It's not a member.
The point I was trying to make is follow your dreams. Follow your dreams.
Absolutely, yeah. But there's something quite nice about sort of I say exclusivity. It doesn't feel very exclusive because there's so many people who belong there now.
It's not exclusive anymore.
But there's just something quite nice about the feeling of knowing that you've got something a little bit different at your fingertips to most other people. And no, I'm not talking about Valentine's Day.
Yeah, hey, wah. I tell you what's happened, and you will get this being younger than my kids, and people of my age will understand. All right. Yes. And it's not sour grapes. It's just as you get older in life, you change. So when it was all starting, you knew everybody there, you'd go hi, and it was delightful. There was even valet parking back then when everyone would drive up to Soho. It was fantastic.
Amazing.
I was the first person to get married in any Soho house anywhere in the world. Which was, it was just, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day arranged by a guy called Podge, who was there last night. Podge is just an amazing fellow. Anyhow, as you get older, things change. And then the people who were your little kids, you see them. And now when you go in, of course, it's full of everybody who's the most important writer. Well, they think they're writing the next great script, the next great like we used to be when we were younger. So we're in their 20s and like early 30s. And you sit there going, oh, geez, I don't feel comfortable with this anymore, which I don't. Because I've been there, done it. It felt pretentious. They, not the club, but they felt, because they're just reinventing the wheel, and we've all done it. Everybody watching the show around the world, we've been there, done it, bought the T-shirt. We don't want to go back there again. And so they had a great idea. I don't know if you know this, Phil, but they had a great idea.
Mm-mm.
Let's open up another club in London only for the old farts. So that's where I go now. And it's great because you have to have been a founder member or a member of joined within about 5 years. So it's all people of a similar age, nothing more to prove. And the atmosphere is just wonderful. Just wonderful. And you can't be a member just because you're a member of Soho House, because sometimes we're there and people march in and say, sorry, you can't come in. But I'm a member. Well, you're not a member of this one.
What do you think it is actually about membership clubs? Because so many people aspire to belong to something. And I'm just curious as to sort of I know it sounds weird, but the psychology behind it. Why? Why does it mean so much to any of us? That
It's a nonsense.
And I'm included.
I think in the old days, and this is fascinating. I'll come back and answer your point. It's a very good point. About 40 years ago, David Lloyd clubs offering lifetime memberships for the family for 10 grand. Okay, we didn't have the money at that time. It's now about, Jesus, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Years and years ago, you wouldn't remember, you're a kid, but do you remember everybody else? When you got your Barclaycard statement, it came with a magazine. Do you remember that, Phil? No. It did. You got your Barclaycard statement or your Visa
I don't remember a magazine,
statement.
but I remember obviously all the paper statements and stuff.
No. I'm talking about a proper magazine.
Okay.
Like a lifestyle magazine.
Oh,
and
Lord, why on earth would anyone take lifestyle advice from Barclays?
Because they had an enormous database. So the advertising in the magazine made them a fortune, and it was great. So I interviewed some fantastic people just for that. I've got to blow my nose. I'm so sorry.
Bless you. Good Lord. There you go. Better out than in, I suppose.
That's what I say. So I interviewed some fantastic people.
Could have been a hell of a lot worse, ladies and gentlemen. So,
It could have been a hell of a lot worse. Charlton Heston. Jimmy Connors, the tennis player. Annika Rice. Charlton Heston was fantastic. I was in awe. Can you imagine me interviewing about Charlton Heston? I didn't know what to say. And one guy I went to see was this young guy called David Lloyd. And David Lloyd...
he sounds a bit like the gym bloke.
Funny you should say that. Now, I know as much about gyms as I do about quantum physics. So I went along to interview him. He was absolutely charming. And he was just starting off. And again, like Nick Jones, who started Soho House, I'm meeting this guy. He's young, he's enthusiastic, he's got a vision. And I'm listening to him. And he had one club. He had one. Shut up. Specs. He had one club. And his vision, it was so clever to build them all around the M25.
Play golf.
I'm going to find you. I'm going to slap you. All right? I know where you are.
Look, I have a couple of weeks to make up for it, okay? I haven't spoken to you for a while.
2 stops. You're 1 stop away. Remember that, boy.
Oh, crap.
You're 1 tube stop away, boy.
You got to find me first. This is a big building I work in.
Find you. I will find you. Anyway, so David Lloyd, and I came away thinking either he's a genius or, it's all pie in the sky. But he'd seen it. He knew what he wanted to do, like Nick Jones. They had this vision. This is where we're going. That's what we're doing. That's the plan. And they stuck to it. I mean, David Lloyd, wow. It was fantastic. I never forgot those things.
I have the same problem. People meet me and they walk away and they say, didn't know if he was a genius or mad.
They don't say that. They go, who was that guy? Who? David Phillips. When I got married and changed my
actually.
When I got married and changed my Barclaycard name.
You had a special name for your Barclaycard?
Yeah, she had clearly a special name just for her credit card. Unbelievable. This is posh. Barclaycard sent me a bottle of champagne and congratulations cup. Wow. Now you're going to make Tina Holt
change the
jealous.
Name of your card?
Who knows? I don't know. It sounds extravagant. Tina Holt, the queen of champagne. I like Tina Holt. I not like personal friend. I mean, we say hello and everything, but I love her on social media because she's always somewhere looking like she's having a marvelous time. And she is. There's always champagne. I think.
Oh, yeah. No, it's extraordinary.
An underrated drink.
I think there's intravenous champagne going on there.
It probably,
Must be amazing.
Yeah, I got hammered last night.
Mrs.
I
Holt,
don't normally
sorry, we have
drink.
to call you into the surgery. It's time to change your moe.
Yes, we're going from Moe. We're trying something. We're going from Bollinger today. I hope that's all right with you. Or what's
And she'll turn around. Don't you touch me, you ugly brute.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Don't come near my Bollingers. That's what I'd say.
Gracious me.
Have to find them
If
first.
they did,
Anyway, there we are.
If they did, you might bottle it. I'm so sorry. This is what I'm like sober. Could you imagine?
You think Phil is just like this because he's on the radio, right? No. Go and have a drink.
No, I'm a raving lunatic. Don't worry.
Well, God, I know.
What?
Kimmy Lashmar. I know.
Excuse me, Kimmy Lustmore. I'm telling you, right, that if there wasn't humour in this world at the moment, we'd all go crackers.
God.
Mind you, actually, having said that, I've got humour. I have gone crackers. So.
It is horribly grim. I come away from the. Can I ask you a question?
Well, you probably can.
Well, just somebody did a post this morning, and it intrigued. Phil, no, Phil's at work. He doesn't drink any more than I do. Never drink in the day. Never. I never drink in the day.
In the evening.
I don't have like a glass, but that's kind of it. I never drink in the daytime.
I never have more than one in the evening.
One what? Bottle? Crate? I don't have more than one off license. I don't have more than one off license in an evening. They were serving all sorts of
I don't have any more than one menu in the evening.
I don't have more than one. I will not have more than one buffet per hour.
I won't have more than one. I won't have more than one bottomless brunch a day.
That's it. I want, for reasons that I won't bore you with, got stuck in Iceland. The weather was so bad, couldn't get out of Iceland. I was out there
stuck
working.
In Iceland? How?
Yeah, I mean, seriously stuck. The weather, you couldn't take off. And
I thought you meant the supermarket.
No, not the supermarket. The country, Iceland. So, I went to the buffet. That's the half it. I had nothing else to do. I'd finished the work, and the weather was like you didn't want to go outside because you would be blown up the street, and the wind was perishingly cold. And I just went up to the buffet, and everything looked nice till I saw what it was. I couldn't eat any of it. It was whale. Seriously, it was whale, reindeer, some kind of shark. And I thought, this is a joke because it all looked lovely. And I thought, oh, yummo. I like salad or something. Wasn't in the best of moods. Here we go. Russ just has one cement mixer. Just the cement mixer.
And then after he's had it, he does an impression of a cement mixer.
I certainly
he gets around.
Eve.
No.
That's why. No. Was it? Which one was it? Datsun, Blitzen. Which one was it? Datsun, Nissan, Honda. I don't know. I don't.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Range Rover. How explored?
That's very good. What did it taste like, Eve? Was it like kind of very meat? Was it a bit like venison? I suppose it's probably a bit like venison, I'm guessing. Oh shit, Rudolph. You thought it was a light night maraschino cherry on the top. It wasn't. It was his nose. Drunk it out of the heart. Oh, here we go. Let's get Phil to say this.
What? Well, I can say if it's written in front of me, can't I, Dave?
Oh, let's hear it then. Let's hear it, Mr. Big Shot.
No, I can say if it's written in front of me, Dave D.
Yeah, I heard that the last time. No, don't
because
look.
It's written in front of me.
It wasn't Twitch, but it was Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Titch. Funny enough, a picture of them came. I know because he can't do it. He can't do it. That's why. I don't know why it is. It's funny.
Excuse me.
I can't.
You can't mock the afflicted. It's not fair.
Well, no, we can if it's you, obviously. So tomorrow's going to
Dave D, Dozy, Deaky, Bick, and Mick.
No,
Look, don't start me, please. It's not fair. Okay,
I can't fair, say it, and it's great entertainment. Right. Start it off again with Dave D. Come on.
Right. Dave B, Dozy Dicky.
No! It's not Dave B.
What? Say it. Hang on, right, just say it, okay?
Take 3.
Say it and I'll do it.
Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch.
Dave D, Dave D,
Yeah.
Bozy Dicky, Mick
No,
and Titch.
it's not Bozy.
What? Say it again, sorry. Wait, just one more. What is it? Sorry. This is not fair. You're marking me afflicted.
It's really
not
fair.
nice.
It's really fair. Here we go. Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch.
Right. Dave
Here we
D.
Yeah.
Dozy, Bicky, Mick and Titch.
No!
Sod off, a lot of you. I don't know what you're talking about. You're utterly horrible. Stop picking on me.
It's because he's so... The thing that makes me laugh is that Phil is so particular and so immaculate in it. He does everything until it comes to this. And he just... I don't know why. I have the problem with the... I have a problem if I was ever doing voiceovers. Chatterpod. That we should talk about that. Is that the word... And I really... Don't ask me why I struggle. Innovative. I always, always trip up on the word, and I'm normally okay, but the one word that always is like an alarm is
innovative.
Innovative. Terrible. It's very odd. I just can't. Oh, here we go. Grand Pack. No, I never. Were they? Were they? Fire? What were they? Firemen? I oddly enough never saw the series. I don't know. I think my kids were just between the ages when it was on. Pew Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, and Grub. But were they firemen? Was it Trumpton or something? I don't know what it was.
Is he having a stroke? What the hell's that?
Pew Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, and Grub.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it means something to someone.
No, it does. It was, there we were. It wasn't Trumpton. It was the Camberwick Green Fireman. No, I don't think I ever saw Camberwick Green. Yeah. What was that? Was that you clapping? Were you clapping then?
No. Should I?
Where the hell did that come? Ooh. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm not going to applaud you if you prompt me. I can do it spontaneously.
No, I don't want. No. You know who's coming up soon in about 3 minutes? I would imagine the whole of West London is gridlocked with florists, not vans, pantechnicons of, there can't be any roses left anywhere in southeast England. There can't be. They're all just coming to, number 3, Wandsworth High Street, done Rickards or whatever.
Can I just say, Kimmy Lustmore is definitely on fire today. Says, I went to the doctor and I said, I can't pronounce th and F. And he said, but you can't say fairer than that.
Then, that's a very good gag. That's a very good gag. I like that.
Chantal likes that, actually.
Chantal likes that. Yeah. She's in a very jolly mood today. Of course she is, because the whole house smells like Kew Gardens now, I should imagine.
Really?
There's just, her driveway is just full. Her driveway is probably full of handsome rich men just lying prostrate, hoping that she would just open the door half an inch and give them a tiny scintilla of hope. That's what she's hoping. That's how it is.
You're talking about men's prostates for? What are you on about?
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that one up. Don't bring that one up, please. If you don't mind. Oh man, one day I'll talk. You're a young guy, but I got to tell you, it's a swine.
Yeah, I know. Don't you start getting stuck up.
I went to the doctor the other day, and he gave me a prostate examination and put his finger up my bottom. Then he put 2 fingers. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm getting a second opinion."
Yeah, that's very good.
What's this? And then we're going to bring on Years ago, I saw a Forest van with wheel clamped in New Bond Street on Valentine's Day. That is so. seem to have amused my friends there.
That's genius.
Okay.
I
right.
love that. Oh dear. Good grief.
And
I've
on
got the
that
right
note
day
of,
for Valentine's, I'll say.
and
Flipping heck.
that
Anyway.
note of great
How's the
style and panache,
mascara,
you know
Chantal?
her.
Are you all right?
You know her. You love her. She is the queens of all things visual on a screen. Chantal Rickards, OBE.
Have we finished you off yet? You're quite all right.
That is such a brilliant joke.
Brilliant.
I've ruined my makeup.
Glad to have caused some mild humour there. That's very nice.
Oh, you should become a writer. You really should.
Yeah, I really should be a writer. I know.
Good grief.
Really should. God damn. There we are.
Good gracious me. But there you go.
Right. Well, we'll let
Not a happy
you,
face,
we'll
everyone.
let you reassemble yourself. And while Chantal goes,
I think we've lost her. I've not seen this before.
I've never seen Chantal like this before. I've known her for years.
Have you kept the receipt? I think our
Yes.
Chantal's broken.
Yes. To take her back to BAFTA. Hello, I'd like to change Chantal.
Just talk amongst yourself.
Under warranty.
All right, I'm going to chat to myself. The thing that I binge watched something this week because
Was it the best of Tommy Cooper by any chance?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a Tommy Cooper. By the way, he never did that gag. I just did a Tommy Cooper voice. He never did that gag.
Really? That was one of his. I didn't know.
No, it wasn't one of the. No, it wasn't a Tommy Cooper gag. Not at all. I just did the voice.
Brilliant.
I just did Tommy Cooper voice. All right. So the thing I watched this week. God. I'm a bit surprised by my colleagues, to be honest. It's normally me who loses it. But anyway, ever the professional, Russell.
Because actually, you've been quite amusing. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know what. Oh, look, Michelle, you just come in time because your mate's having a complete meltdown there. Something's tickled there. I don't know what it is.
God.
Right, okie doke. Hello, hello from
Chantal.
Australia. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us all the way from Australia. Where it's probably is it Saturday now in Australia? I don't know. I can't keep up with these things. So the thing that I binge watched this
Sorry.
week.
Oh dear.
On the
I had to mute
worst-
the microphone just now because they've got to. You know, when you get to a certain age, you can always tell you're getting old because you blow your nose and you sound like your father.
Matter with you two? Right, it's like end of school, end of term. So I binge watched.
What a memory! Oh dear. Right.
I'm going to continue, everybody. I'm just going to keep going.
Will you get on with it for crying out loud?
I'm trying. Yes. Look, even in Australia, they are shocked. They are. Oh, she's started now. She's blowing her nose. What's going on? Great.
Okay.
So right. So I binge
Clearing the
watched.
clack.
I binge watched Unforgotten, a series that I've always loved with the
Oh, yes.
great Sanjeev Bhaskar. My favorite actress in the whole wide world is Nicola Walker. I think she's amazing, but she left the series, and they brought in somebody else who's an Irish actress who's very good. She's not Nicola Walker, but then I'm a huge Nicola Walker fan. And this was
Sinead Keenan.
Sinead Keenan, yes, indeed.
Yes.
And oh my God, it's Saturday night. She's Michelle Vaughan watching the show now. It's Saturday night, 11:30 in the evening.
No, it's Friday night.
Can't
baby.
be.
Not
Friday
11:30 in the evening. It's Friday night.
No,
It's got to be Michelle. It's got to
I
be.
was gonna say,
Surely
she's had a couple of bevies. It's Friday night in Oz. It's not.
It
It's
can't
not Saturday
possibly
night.
be. Can't
That would be
a
very
day and a half.
impressive. You must be living in Australia and Jupiter. That's all I can say.
Wow. It can't be Saturday night.
Planet
Michelle.
only rotates in 24 hours.
Anyway, Unforgotten, written by the great Chris Lang,
Oh,
who
yeah, I
I've
forgot we
never
were
had
talking
the
about
pleasure of meet. I've never had the pleasure of meeting Chris Lang, but he and I do chat on Twitter, or X if you're a kid, and we have a lot of chat. And I chat to Sanjeev Bhaskar, who I've never met either, but Chris Lang is a fantastic writer. It's Friday night, not Saturday night. So, very controversial
Fancy that.
series. Very controversial, this particular series. Some people loved it. Some people absolutely loathed it and said it was a load of woke bingo. When I was writing backwards and forwards to Chris Lang, it was very interesting because it was all about division, the theme of Unforgotten, and you can binge watch it on ITVX. I wish you luck. The most unstable, worst, not fit for purpose platform ever. It is absolutely shocking. Shocking.
Okay.
And if you know anyone at ITVX, for God's sake, get some 12-year-olds in and sort out your tech, because it is
bizarre, isn't it? It really doesn't work very well.
Unacceptable crap. It
I have
really
to
is.
tell you, the premium one isn't much better. I actually cancelled.
No, it's not, and it's not. I used to have that. I gave up.
Yeah. No, I hear your cries.
It's very unstable, so it keeps buffering, then it goes. But anyway, so Michelle is a huge fan of Nicola Walker and loves Unforgotten. I'm just watching a dog who doesn't want to go for a walk.
It's a
Just
funny
go
thing.
sliding across the floor. Doesn't want to go. Anyway, it was about division, and he's very clever that he plays your emotions. I'm not saying what happened, and there's no spoilers here, but it's worth watching. And Sanjeev Bhaskar does achieve so much by doing so little. Does that make sense? You know, just an expression in his eyes or something. Anyway, some of you will hate it. Some of it pushed my buttons a bit too much, but he was doing it deliberately to provoke. That's what he wanted. He wanted to provoke a reaction.
Oh,
That's
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he wanted to provoke. Anyway, I'm shutting up. Chantal, over to you.
Well, no, because it is on my list of things to chat about.
Okay.
I know that you love Unforgotten, and you know anything that lasts more than 5 years is a major television success. And this is in series 6, and it is, you know, it's very well made. It's quite gentle. There aren't crazy car chases. You know, it's this slightly mismatched couple of coppers, Sanjeev Bhaskar, and Jess, the sidekick, and they don't really rush around London. They drive rather sedately around London and knock on people's doors, and conversations are had, and old cases are solved. And that's sort of it. But I don't quite know why there was so much controversy about the sort of wokeness that people felt.
Oh, I do.
No, I mean, I didn't quite see it. I watched it. I thought it was fine. I didn't suddenly go, gosh, that feels overly wokey to me, or I didn't stand out as being this sort of, you know, woke.
Well, let me throw this one. Let me throw this at you.
But it was okay. I watched all 6 episodes very quickly.
So
good cold case. What's not to like?
I agree, but you know, I think what people were getting annoyed about.
Yes.
And it's deliberate. I mean, it's not like Chris Lang is an incredibly gifted visionary writer. So he knows he's doing it to poke the bear.
Okay.
And so when the Arctic lorry opens up, I'm not giving anyone anything away, you see this, and the illegal immigrants, they've sneaked into the country, they've come in the back of an Arctic and they run.
Yeah.
But of course they're all back in real life, they were doctors, and they nobody was just like, you know, worked in ASDA and just fancied a better life. No, they're all doctors, and they're all marvelous, and they're all fantastic people. So people thought, oh, really? So, but he's doing it like, let's push it to the limit. Supposing this person was a cardiac surgeon and had to get out of Syria or Afghanistan. Supposing it was that, does that change your? I can see what he was doing. I mean, I was getting steamed up, and then I thought, no, that's exactly what he wants me to do. Of course, he wants me to get steamed up.
But still a good story. You know, the storyline, the narrative arc, the characters, all very well done, very professionally made, and definitely 6 hours of pretty good telly.
Yeah, it flew by. By.
If people don't say to you that's got sort of woke DNA, a lot of people won't sit there going, "Oh my God, it's got woke DNA." So I think just watch it and enjoy it.
Yes, I just watch it for the adventure, for the adventure and the complex storyline. It's adult storylines there. It's nuanced. I love the fact that Sanjeev Bhaskar, you think, well, he's not doing anything. He's not getting on. And then he just slowly asks these questions. Yeah. And you think, oh, that's so clever.
It's very underplayed. I mean, his character is a very underplayed.
Yeah, it's so low key.
Yeah.
It's
I'm hoping that the love story between him and the doctor develops.
And Leanne. Yeah, but it kind of pulls at your heartstrings. I know you don't think I have any, but somewhere there's some rusty old heartstrings that need some WD-40. But the pathos is so desperate to chase this woman, and for reasons I'm not going into, and he's working and he keeps leaving messages, and you think, oh, mate, stop, please stop, you're being pathetic now. But you feel for him because he's just a lovely fellow in the series. You know?
We've all been there.
Have we?
Yes.
Have we now? Yes, I suppose everybody has. Apart from Phil, they flock to his door. They flock to his bachelor pad, queuing up there.
Yeah, they wait until I'm not there.
I want to know how many Valentine's cards you boys got.
I haven't actually checked the post today. I generally haven't.
I don't know. My postman got a hernia.
I'm honest.
Maybe
the last time I checked my last time I checked my inbox, the only thing I had that was in red was a final reminder. So I wasn't really interested in going back for more.
It is a load of nonsense, and I think the best thing about Valentine's Day is just to completely ignore it. Quite frankly,
yeah,
that's how I get through most of life. So, what else have you seen? We've done Unforgotten.
Well, I'm going to send you to the movies this weekend because I think you should go and see September the 5th.
Yes.
Do you know about it? Let me tell you about it.
Yes. No, you haven't, but it's fantastic.
Okay, 1971, Munich. Awful black. What were they called? Black Panthers? The Black September, not Black Panthers.
Black September.
Apologies to Black Panthers. Yes. Black September organization, Palestinian organization, decided that they were going to take 11 Israeli hostages at the Olympics being held in Munich. Horrible story, horrible event. That is the backdrop to this film, which is a very well-crafted film, actually, and it's been doing the rounds and actually has been entered for all the different award shows. And obviously, we've got the BAFTAs coming up and the Oscars coming up, and it might do quite well. It was certainly on one of my last lists of my voting list for BAFTA, which I completed 3 or 4 days ago. Anyway, the story is actually about the ABC television organization, American television organization, who were the sports reporters and broadcasters covering the Olympics.
Yeah.
And suddenly this gang of blokes, mostly blokes, get thrown into being news reporters. And they don't really know what they're doing. It's sort of fascinating because they know how to put fabulous cameras in to watch people running around a track or throwing a javelin or doing whatever sports people do. But actually, to decide whether you show people being killed or not, dead people or not, hostages or not, do you do it live or not? These are all things that actually, as a crew, they were not used to doing because they were not a news crew. And there's a fight at the beginning between whether the whole thing is going to get taken away out of the hands of the sports presentation team and handed over to a news team that isn't really there because the news team weren't really gathering it. They had a couple of stringers.
Sports events, of course.
Yeah. And whether the sports team were going to be allowed to carry on. So for me, I was sort of fascinated in the production issues because I suddenly put myself in that position thinking, bloody hell, if I'd been making an entertainment program and I was covering, the opening of the Olympics, what would I have done? Yeah. And so actually there are lots of different storylines going through besides the fact it is an extraordinary story about a really, really extraordinary day, that's one of those days that we shouldn't forget.
No.
And I think it's definitely worth spending your £5.99 or whatever it may be to go to the local cinema and watch it. The recreation.
I fear, Chantal, there are many people who have forgotten it based on what's going on in the world at the moment. But yes.
Well, indeed. But I think that's why it needs to be seen, Phil, frankly. These stories shouldn't die. And we should remember the atrocities that have been caused around the world. And this is a good way to keep the wider story alive, but through the lens, no pun intended, of the sports broadcasting team who were broadcasting from Munich. Anyway, I think it's a good film. I really enjoyed it. It plays out like a thriller because actually it sort of is a thriller. It's very taut. There's no sort of spare flesh on the bone. Everything is sort of instant and immediate and urgent, and you do feel your blood pressure going up all the way through. But I enjoyed it, which is a weird thing to say about something like that when you know that there were real people involved. But
yes,
go and see it. I'd love to know what you guys think of it, because I really thought it was a good
apparently
film.
quite claustrophobic as well. Because
Completely.
it's kind of in the room, which they were just thought, as you said, they're doing javelin discus and a bit of running. Graham's asking an interesting question. As a TV person, could they have had a 10-second delay at the time, just in case there were scenes that shouldn't have been broadcast? Ooh.
Well, that was the point. They didn't know whether they should be broadcasting it live or not, and whether the hostage takers were watching it live. So then you get layer of the story coming in. So the hostage takers potentially would have known immediately if there had been a delay that had been put in.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of live television has delays on purpose for that very reason. And there are more delays put in, as we know from the Oscars all those, 5 years ago, when it all went horribly wrong, that I was texting from London out to my friends who were watching the Oscars live, and what was going out their feed was going out after we'd already received it in London. So it's sort of
say that again. It's the reverse way.
Yes. So I was sitting at Soho House in London at 4 o'clock in the morning. My buddies were sitting in their houses in Los Angeles, and I was going WTF, watching the whole Oscars, who's winning, who's not winning. I mean, the sort of chaos of the Oscars. And this was the not the who's winning and who isn't.
Was this the Will Smith thing?
The Will Smith. But they hadn't seen it because American broadcasters were on a delay. So we in the United Kingdom didn't have a delay.
Wow.
Pictures and live action before the American broadcaster had sliced it and diced it differently and suppressed some things and then put it out. So when I was going, what the hell's going on? They were going, what are you talking about?
Wow. Isn't that interesting that you see it, but you're seeing it live on a UK feed and subsequently not live in Los Angeles where it's being held? It's kind of perverse.
Yeah,
he should have been charged. I can't watch a Will Smith film now. I can't even watch them anymore.
Used to be one of my favorites. I really liked him, and I can't watch a Will Smith film now.
Interesting question from Graham. How long was the Oscars delay? Which about like a few minutes?
About 5 seconds.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And we clearly didn't have one. I mean, there's a tiny delay. The delays used to be about 1.5 seconds when I did live broadcasting, but I haven't done live broadcasting of that type for a long time. But I mean, if you think about, our viewers are getting our stream virtually instantly around the world. There is really no such thing as a delay any longer.
We always thought at Capital Radio there was a 7-second delay. And we always thought there was a second delay because of people saying terrible things on phone calls.
Right.
Or just being very vulgar.
Swearing. Well, it was put in really.
There was no delay at all. It was a complete myth. There was no delay. We'd worked for years thinking, well, it's all right, this is 7 seconds. There was absolutely no delay. It went out as it was.
Oh, dear.
I know.
Were you ever caught on a hot mic, as they call it?
No, I was always only once, and the mic was still open.
Yes.
Cara was in the studio. Tarrant was away. Nicky Horn, for some reason, was sitting in.
Yes.
And the plane hit a really bad bit of turbulence. I smacked my head on the ceiling. Went, oh shit! Like that, because it really hurt, and that went out. But what the hell? Back in those days, but it really hurt. I thought I was off. But when the plane did that, you
as some of your more dedicated listeners were tuning in, you could say that the hit the fan.
It really did. In the plane.
Yes.
I'd forgotten this till you just asked me that question. In the plane, when you shut what passed as a door, I think it was made out of paper mache, you had a ring lock, a above your head. So you turn the lock above your head, which was metal. So it was a big metal circle and a big half circle of metal. And you turned that, and that engaged the lock at the top of the door as well as the bit at the side. So, of course, what you had when you hit your head on the ceiling was this great big big of metal exactly on the top of your bolts.
What?
It really hurt. It really hurt.
It could have been worse.
Bang. Well, bless.
Oh, dear.
Bless. Anyway,
Dear.
do you, Mr. Phil Dave, do you have delays on your shows going out?
Depends
On
where
any
I'm
of
at. Don't have delays on this, do we? But do have
No, we
delays at the main job. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Although it has to be said, there are some occasions where I do wish I would have had delays, because I remember there was one station I worked at. Oh, gracious me. How many years ago? It would have been around 2006, 2007, something like that. I think it was. And the 2007. And this co-presenter of mine on the drive time show that we were working on she had a bit of a forceful attitude, and she didn't completely appreciate that I was technically speaking the one whose name was on the show. So I sort of once in a while got a bit feisty, and she basically we sort of got to the stage we were about to do the weather, and typically for me I started to digress, and so she said anyway, weather, come on. And in sort of like what was supposed to be quite an authoritative voice, I turned to her and I said, "Don't you come on me." So I do wish I would have had a delay for that, obviously. It wasn't
not your most articulate.
It wasn't my finest moment.
How is that relationship going now?
I do recall I do recall possibly having to go to a song shortly after that. I just don't think Lionel Richie Stuck on You was appropriate.
Stop it!
Anyway, but with the
Oh God!
but
Oh,
the only other occasion when it really sort of was not completely great was that I was working on a final show of an RSL, so a restricted service license. So it only had a month's broadcast, and it was the very last program, the very last moment before the show ended, and it was supposed to be that we were opening some bottles of champagne, and when we tried to open it, I think I said something along the lines of, it was supposed to be, "Let's get those corks a popping," but instead it sort of came out, and "Let's get those porks a cocking," and and that was literally the last thing that was heard on this station. It was mightily awkward.
The one time we couldn't continue because everyone was laughing so badly was the newsreader, the wonderful Justin Kings, who's a lovely fellow. Right. Justin Kings is doing it, and he's talking about football. And he was talking about a football manager called Harry. I know nothing about football, even though I know his name, Harry Redknapp.
Oh,
right? Harry
come
Redknapp.
on. You must.
No, and he said, Harry Redknapp, right? And he said, in the middle of it, he's doing this proper broadcast, and he calls him
He's gone already.
Harry. I can't do this. Harry Redknob. Well, so Neil Fox was sitting in for Tarrant, who was away again. The place fell apart. The show collapsed because no one could speak. And Neil, who's terribly professional, just was crying. He couldn't, because the newsreader would be in the same studio. Very often they're in a separate booth, like the BBC they are, but in Capital they're in the same studio. Justin Kings couldn't get out of it. And this lasted, I think it lasted for the rest of the show. Of course, they clipped it, recorded it, kept playing it back, which made it even worse. There we go. What else have you seen?
No, very briefly, I did get a fit of giggles when I was
seen the light.
The end of my career, right? So what else? What else have you seen?
I did get a fit of giggles once on Through the Keyhole when we were filming at the home of Jonathan Dimbleby, and I can't even remember what led up to it, but there was a moment and I started laughing, and I couldn't stop.
Uh-oh.
And I had to leave my own set because I was behaving so badly.
Oh,
I couldn't
God.
even say action, let alone cut. I was
Oh,
absolutely.
God.
We
What
went,
has set you off?
I have no idea, but we went for 16 takes. I've never
No.
a 16 because every time Lloyd said something, I just burst out laughing. And eventually I was told to leave the room.
Oh, my
I
God.
was completely incapable. Anyway, sorry, just a small aside. Right, I'm going to take us back to 2001. Did
Okay.
you watch Black Hawk Down? The
Yes.
film by Ridley Scott.
Yes. Very disturbing.
Very disturbing, exactly, but along the same lines in a way as the story about September the 5th. He made this amazing film about the United Nations going into Mogadishu in Somalia to basically sort out fighting rebels. And it was an absolute mess, a complete mess from
It was
top to
horrible.
Horrible. What they have done in this film, this TV series, it's a 3-part TV series. It's on Netflix. It came out about 3 or 4 days ago, I think. It's actually incredibly well made by Ridley Scott, who uses a lot of the original footage from Black Hawk Down, but it's a look back at what happened on the day with the real people themselves.
Oh.
Were the pilots or the rebels or the women who were, had dead children in their arms, and every single side of the equation is brought into this very, very well crafted 3-part series. I didn't really know the history.
It's on Netflix, Chantal.
It's on Netflix, and it's called Surviving Black Hawk Down.
I am adding it as we speak.
Yeah, it's
That's a good idea.
It's very interesting because it's really it's told in an unemotional way about something that clearly was very emotional. And the way that the Americans speak about what happened to them, intercut with the rebel fighters and the families about what happened to them and how they saw it, is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's beautifully done. And Ridley Scott Associates is a very classy production company, and they've done this very well, I think. Really well.
I think that film, Black Hawk Down, is one of the most exhausting films I've ever seen.
I've never seen
you come out of it your emotions, the tension, because it felt so visceral and so realistic. You forgot it was a film. It was just horrendous.
Yeah. I never saw it because I clearly at the time I must have thought it was just a bit of a boys sort of shooting.
It really wasn't. Really wasn't at all.
Okay.
Anyway. It was just you were immersed in it, and there's loads and loads of stars, but they don't do much. They're just in and out because everyone becomes anonymous. It's just horrible.
Yeah,
it's an extraordinary film.
No, it makes it very, very real, and clearly the reenactments that they've done for the film really resonate because it was done so well, and you get a real understanding of what Somalia was like at the time. And then they intercut it with the local cameraman, and they show you his footage too from the day. Really interesting. Oh, dear.
Gracious. So that's called Surviving
Black Hawk Down. Yeah.
Surviving Black Hawk Down on Netflix. Yeah. Can I quickly throw something into the mix before I have to run off? Have either of you seen the latest series of Waterloo Road? So Waterloo Road is this drama series on the BBC about a school. So I have to be honest that the last series, which I've only recently caught up on, which was series 14, rather appropriate for 14th of Feb, actually I thought was a bit of a waste of series. I really didn't like it very much. It was Jason Manford was the head teacher. And honestly, I actually thought it was terrible, if I'm honest with you. But this latest series has just come out. It's just released. All the episodes are available on BBC iPlayer now. And it's Lindsay what's her name? Who's the head mistress now? Hang on a second. I have to look.
Lindsay Buckingham.
Lindsay Coulson. Sorry. Now, you all know Lindsay Coulson if you saw her. She was in. I think that is she married to someone from EastEnders or something like that? You definitely know if you saw her. She's one of those people you might not know by names, because I feel like she was actually even in EastEnders. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think she played. Oh, who did she play?
She played
have to
Dot
look up.
Com.
No, you'd know her if you saw her. Anyway, the point
She
is,
played Elsie Tanner. I
now the
don't know.
headmistress.
Anyway,
she's now the headmistress of Waterloo Road.
Oh, okay.
And it feels like for the first time in a long time that the series is right back to when Maureen Chadwick and Anne McManus wrote the thing. It's much better.
They did. I remember that because the first series I remember incredibly well, and it was really well done. It was the first time I watched a sort of teen focused drama, and I thought, God, those kids can act well. They were so authentic. It's terrific. Good. I'm glad.
I
Really
know Phil's got to go. I know.
Must away. Sorry.
Bye
Okay.
bye. Thank you. Now, Julie Boyce.
Much love.
Formerly of I hate him. Formerly of Houston, Texas, and now of Guildford, Surrey.
Yes, she's come home.
Is saying anybody else watching Paradise? Well, Julie, I started to watch it, and then I thought, oh, it's the Truman Show with a bit of.
Oh, don't tell me you worked that out. We talked about.
Oh yeah, I worked that out. Like,
no, I'm so irritated because I didn't work that out till right at the end.
No.
Ugh.
Because it's the same town square as Back to the Future. They use that town square in loads of things. Anyway, neither here nor there. That's not a spoiler. And I think my problem was I found the characters so I wasn't engaged with them. I thought they were
Really?
horrible.
I thought you'd love
I
it.
watched 2.5 episodes. I'll probably go back to it because it's fabulously made. I mean, oh wow!
Oh my God, there's a lot of money on screen.
Woo! Woo! You see, it's got production.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes you think, you have these big blockbuster movies and there's helicopters and there's, but the CGI or whatever the hell they're doing on this is imperceptible. It's a whole new level. It's terrific. Terrific.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I'm going to go. I haven't gone back. I watched episode 1 and I really enjoyed that. And I am going to go back and try it, but I will take your comments with me.
Yeah. It looks.
Doing really well. It's doing really well.
Well, yes. I have to say, I have a quick question because I know you have to go. Obviously, it's Valentine. But you got lunch, you got brunch, you got lunch, you got tea, you got.
No, I am Johnny No
Johnny
No Mates. The day started well.
What a waste. Anyway, I don't believe it for a second. Anyhow, oh God, now I completely lost my train of thought. No, it's gone. That's what happens when you get to my age. I don't know. Anyway, have a marvelous day.
I will enjoy Valentine's Day.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And we will see you all being well next week.
Take care. Lots of love. Bye.
And to you, the wonderful Chantal Rickards, OBE. I don't think this background that Phil got is quite camp enough. Anyway, that's it for another week on the Midday Show. We'll be back on Monday with Neil Longy Long. Maybe Liz Better Call Saul if she's free or in her car, and I'll be there. And then have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful weekend. Look after yourselves and try and stay out of trouble.